Well, good afternoon, everyone. Spokane Steve here, and it's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. That's right, the Wednesday afternoon edition. And greetings, Jack Dawson. Welcome. Hope your afternoon/evening is going well, sir. The only undefeated team remaining in 1966 is the Philadelphia Phillies at 6-0. They hold a half-game lead over the Dodgers and the Pirates. Giants just a game and a half back. And they'll be hosting the Atlanta Braves today in the second of a three-game series. Ken Johnson will be on the mound for the Braves, a nice 14-8, 3.30 line. Ray Culp for the Phillies, ERA just north of 5, 7-4 in 12 starts. So it should be interesting. Culp, not a good card. Johnson, a very good card. Let's look at the stats here. No decision for Culp. And no decision for Johnson. I know they've both pitched, at least I'm pretty sure they have, but they have no decision. At least at this point. Anyway, let's get to the lineups here and we'll get underway. For Atlanta, leading off, Felipe Alou in left field. Batting second, Gary Geiger will be in center field today. Hank Aaron bats third and plays right field, with Eddie Matthews, the cleanup man, at third base. Joe Torre catches and bats fifth, with Lee Thomas at first base hitting sixth, Dennis Menke at shortstop hitting seventh, Sandy Alomar at second base hitting eighth, and Johnson hitting ninth. Last time I had... Hang on a second. I had issues last time with it folding over this Alomar card. I'm just going to remedy that situation right now. There you go. I can see there's his defense and his running. Stick that out of the way somewhere. Here's the lineup for the Phillies. It will be Johnny Briggs in center field leading off. Dick Allen plays third base and hits second. Bill White, the first baseman, bats third. Johnny Callison will be in right field in the cleanup spot. Tony Gonzalez in left field hits fifth. Dick Grote at short hits sixth. Cookie Rojas back at second base today hits seventh. Clay Dalrymple will do the catching and hit eighth, with Culp batting ninth. And we're just about set to go here. And here's Mark Levine. Welcome, Mark. Glad you could join us today, sir. Things are good here in Spokane. I woke up, had one of those early morning, woke up way too early situations. It happens. And we're just about ready to get underway. Ray Culp has completed his warm-ups. Felipe Alou steps in from the right side. Umpire says play ball. Culp gets the sign from Dalrymple. Here's the pitch to Alou. That's a 1-11 against the righty. It's a fly ball to left field deep. Playable for Gonzalez. He's there and makes the catch for the out. And here's Gary Geiger now. Geiger, a fine defensive outfielder, part-time player, only had 126 at-bats. 262 with a 372 on-base percentage, however. Most of it against right-handers. Culp with the windup. The pitch to Geiger on a 1-8. He draws the walk, right on cue. Geiger, who always could take a walk. 1 through 14 runner is solid, but no threat to steal. And here comes Henry Aaron with Eddie Matthews on deck. Culp from the stretch now. Here's the pitch to Aaron. A 3-11 to the right-hander. That's a ground ball to first base. White's only play is going to be to first. Geiger will take second on the play. 2 down, runner in scoring position, and here's Matthews now. Culp from the stretch. Pitch to Eddie Matthews on a 3-10. That's a grounder down to short. That's playable for Grote. He's got it and throws him out. And that will do it for the Braves in the first. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. And like clockwork, just been fed when I got home. But this cat, Tommy the cat, as soon as I start playing, he wants something. I think it's because he hears my voice. Johnson getting ready to work here. He's taking his warm-ups. As the Phillies prepare to bat, Johnny Briggs, there was an interesting guy. Was never an all-star. But he did finish 23rd in the MVP race in 1973. 139 home runs lifetime. 771 OPS lifetime. 355 career on-base percentage. He had some power, always could take a walk. He was a wonder boy when he came up at age 20. His biggest moment probably happened in the 64 season in a late July game against the Giants in that famous Philly pennant race. The Phils entered the action in first place a half a game ahead of the Giants. The Giants had plated a run in the 10th for a 3-2 lead. In the bottom of the inning, a young Gaylord Perry, primarily a reliever until the following season, gave up a leadoff double to Johnny Callison. Perry then drilled Tony Taylor with a pitch, and Dick Allen reached on an infield single to third. Briggs, who had pinch hit in the 8th and stayed in the game and left, was the next batter. Giants manager Alvin Dark brought in lefty Billy O'Dell to face Briggs. Briggs said 40 years later, "I look back at Mock thinking he yanked me out of there, but he's clapped his hands and said, 'Come on, kid, you could do it.' I hit the ball off the tin wall and right to win the game." Briggs' career would really blossom when he got traded to Milwaukee. His playing time increased, and he had back-to-back 20 home run seasons. So anyway, a little bit about Johnny Briggs. A fine player, never a star. But, you know, perhaps with more playing time, he might have been. The numbers are good. 771 lifetime OPS is nothing to sneeze at. So Johnson's ready to work now. As he winds and deals, here's the pitch to Johnny Briggs. On a 4-3, it's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Thomas. Thomas is a 4E18 as he moves to his right. Here's the play. On an 8, it's the error range. E18 on the roll of an 11, and he makes a fine play. Flips to Johnson covering. 3-1X. Briggs is retired. And here's Dick Allen. I was experimenting with some softer filter over the light earlier. I think what I might do is just go down to a 40-watt soft white. I think we're still plenty clear and maybe a little too bright yet. But let me know what you think in the comments. Here's Dick Allen now. Johnson windup. The pitch to Allen on a 1-9. Swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Allen. A big swing and miss. Johnson took a little something off of that one. Here's Bill White now. White, left-handed hitter, among the National League RBI leaders. The pitch from Johnson is a 1-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Ken Johnson, boy, he comes out and announces his presence with authority here in the first inning, retiring the side in order and striking out 2. And we are scoreless after 1. And greetings, Aaron Smith. Another trade log for us there. White and Euchre for Alex Johnson, Art Mahaffey, and Pat Corrales. I remember Corrales well. Didn't he go on to be... Corrales was a manager, wasn't he? I think he was. He was definitely a coach, at least. I remember him long after he was catching. Okay, to the top of the second we go. Torrey, Thomas, and Menke due for Atlanta. Ray Culp into the windup. Here's the pitch on a 1-8. It's going to be a pop-up left side. Grote's there. He's got it. One away, and Lee Thomas will be the batter. Left-handed hitting first baseman. He's got a little pop. Culp the windup. Pitch to Lee on a 1-8. That's a base hit into right field. And there's the first hit of the ball game, a one-out single by Lee Thomas. Thomas not a threat to steal. And Dennis Menke will be the batter. Culp from the stretch now. Pitch to Menke, a 3-7. That's going to be a single into right field, two-base advance. Thomas steams into third, and the Braves have runners at the corners and one out. How will Philadelphia play this with Alomar up? They're going to stay back looking for the double play. Alomar, whose card I may have to pull up on the... this is a computer-only card. And there he is. So I've got him on my laptop screen. Culp from the stretch. Pitch to Sandy, a 3-3. It's going to be a pop-up left side. It's Grote again. He's got it. So two pop-ups to short. And here's Johnson now, a right-handed batter. Culp from the stretch. Pitch to Johnson on a 2-9. Struck him out. Not surprisingly, a two-hitting pitcher's card. So for Atlanta, no runs, two hits, and they leave a pair. They had the bottom of the lineup up there. Alomar, terrible card, but what are you going to do? He started that game. And thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I thought he did. Alomar started the game. You got to play another pitcher. I mean, the Braves had the wrong guys up there, is what I'm saying. Okay, bottom of the second. Callison, Gonzalez, and Grote. Ken Johnson getting ready to work. Here's the pitch to Johnny Callison. On a 5-8 to the lefty. Tapper down to first. Matthews gloves it. Flips to Johnson covering. And there's one down. Just getting underway here. I went back to the 2 o'clock start instead of the 2:15. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but 2:15 was largely for me because I tend to be late when I was out running around. There were a couple of times where I needed that extra 15 minutes, but basically my small amount of Christmas shopping is done. I figure I'll be mostly staying in now as we get into winter. Therefore, back to the 2 o'clock time. One away, here's Tony Gonzalez, left-handed hitting outfielder. Johnson, the windup and the pitch on a 1-9. It's a grounder down to second base. Alomar to his left has it. Flips to Thomas. Two away quickly. And here's Grote. And the pitch from Johnson, a 2-6. That's a high fly ball to left field. Back goes Alou, just shy of the track, pulls it in for the out. On a 2-6 homer to 5, the roll of 14, and Grote is retired. So 1-2-3 go the Phillies. We're scoreless after 2 innings. Culp getting ready to work. Culp in S6, Johnson in S7 as far as endurance goes. Take a little peek at Johnson there. I'll have a little sip of tea here as Culp completes his warm-ups. Top of the lineup for Atlanta. Alou, Geiger, and Aaron. Culp into the windup. Here's the pitch on a 5-3. It's a grounder to the pitcher X. A 2E26. For Culp, and here's the play on a 6. It's the error range, E26. The roll is a 7, and he can't get it. It's off of Culp's glove for an error. So error Philadelphia, a lose aboard. And here's Gary Geiger now. Geiger walked in the first inning. Culp from the stretch. A 5-9, swung on and missed strike 3. Culp fans Geiger. Just missing a dangerous 5-8 there. And here comes Henry Aaron. Culp from the stretch. Whoops. Fouls one off. Culp from the stretch. Pitch to Aaron on a 6-8. That's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Cookie Rojas. Rojas, a fine 2E15. This could be 2. Here's the play on a 5, and it is indeed Rojas to Grote to first, double play. So a fine double play. Cookie Rojas started there. Nice turn by Grote to retire Aaron, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no one left on. We go to the bottom of the third. Scoreless duel so far. And Bob's here. Welcome, Bob. And the answer to that is, I don't know. Small sample size. That's the best I can come up with. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Phillies here in the bottom of the third. Rojas, Dalrymple, and Culp. Ken Johnson into the windup now. Pitch to Cookie, a 4-8 to the right-hander. Struck him out. Rojas caught looking. And here's Dalrymple. The windup. The pitch to Clay is a 1-9. Swung on and missed strike 3. And that's 4 strikeouts for Ken Johnson now. Johnson looking really good out there today, and here comes Culp. And here's the pitch on a 3-4. Comebacker. Johnson has it, throws him out. 1-2-3. And we are scoreless after 3 complete. And Mac Jones was rehabbing after a bone chip. Oh, he was on Atlanta. Okay, I got you. So in other words, he would not be eligible to pinch hit in this game, is what you're saying. Moving along to the fourth, it's Matthews, Torrey, and Thomas. Culp hanging right with Johnson. Johnson's looked really good. Culp's only allowed 2 hits. Here's the windup and the pitch to Matthews. On a 5-7, he walks him. So there's a leadoff walk to Eddie Matthews, and Joe Torrey will come to bat now. Culp from the stretch. Here it is, a 6-12 to the right-hander. That's second base X. That's going to be Rojas. 2E15. Towards the middle on a 3. He's got it, steps on the bag. Nice flip to first, double play. Cookie Rojas does it himself. What a play by Cookie Rojas. That's a web jam. 2 down, and Lee Thomas will be the hitter. Pitch to Lee on a 1-3. That's a base hit right up the middle for Lee Thomas. And Lee's aboard with a 2-out single. No threat to run. And that'll allow Dennis Menke to come to bat here in the 4th inning. Runner on first, 2 down. Colt from the stretch. Here's the pitch, a 6-7. It's a double to 2, but that fly ball is playable, and it's going to go right into the glove of Johnny Briggs to retire the side. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. Not exactly what I anticipated, but what can you anticipate really in Strat or in real baseball for that matter? Well, Aaron, I thank you for that information. I'm going to go ahead and make Mac Jones ineligible. The bench players I don't worry about that much, but in this case, that's good information to have. We go to the bottom of the 4th, it will be the top of the order for the Phillies. Briggs, Allen, and White as Johnson comes set. The sign from Torrey, the windup. The pitch to Johnny Briggs, a 2-2. He draws the walk. So a leadoff walk here to Briggs. Briggs a 13, but Johnson has a -4 hold. Torrey a 0. Briggs will be going nowhere fast. He's a 1-14 runner, and here's Dick Allen. Johnson from the stretch. Pitch to Allen on a 4-6. That's a fly ball to left. That'll be playable for Alou. He makes the grab, and there's 1 down. And Bill White will be the hitter. White struck out in the 1st inning. Johnson from the stretch. Here's the pitch, a 5-2 to the left-hander, and he loses in ball 4. So 2 walks issued by Johnson this inning. The first jam he's been in so far. 1st and 2nd, 1 away. And here's Johnny Callison. Callison bounced out to 1st in the 2nd inning. From the stretch now, pitch to Johnny is a 3-8. That's a high fly ball to right field. Back goes Aaron. It's off the wall for a double. It's going to score at least 1. Briggs is in. White can try to score. Aaron a -2. White a 15, -2, 13. He's coming. And he's gunned down at the plate on a great throw by Henry Aaron, a 1-hopper. How about that? So White forced. Callison will take 2nd on the throw. 2 away now, and Gonzalez will be the hitter. Briggs scores to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead. And here's Gonzalez. Johnson from the windup now. On a 4-11. Fly to left field X. That's a Lou. Felipe, a 2-7 out there. And here's the play. On a 14, he drifts over and makes a fine catch to retire the side. The Phillies strike first. A run on a hit. They leave a man. There was a pair of walks in the inning. Or there were a pair of walks in the inning, I should say. And after 4 complete, the Phillies lead 1-0. As Colt gets ready to work in the 5th, it will be Alomar, Johnson, and Alou. I remember Sandy Alomar mostly with California. I think he was their leadoff man even for a while. He had great speed and he was a good second baseman, but he couldn't get on base to save his life. You look back at the top of the order of some of those 60s teams, you've got guys with 280 on-base percentages sitting at the top of the lineup. You would never see that today. Culp ready to work now. Alomar, the lefty, stands in. Here's the windup of the pitch. On a 6-7, Alomar slashes a base hit into right, and he's aboard with a leadoff single. Alomar, an E stealer. Let's see what his advanced is. He has no chance to get a lead. He cannot steal. He is a 1 through 16 runner, however. Johnson, an A bunter. Phillies pull the infield in. He's going to lay it down. That makes him a B. 6 on a B. That should be good. Yep, sacrifice bunt for Johnson. So a sacrifice hit for Ken Johnson moves Alomar into scoring position with 1 away. And here's Felipe Alou, Gary Geiger on deck. Culp from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Alou. A 4-5 is a grounder to shortstop X, but that's going to be Menke. Menke's a 4E48. No, I'm sorry, it's not Menke. It's it's Grote, 3E22. I apologize. Had the wrong team. 3E22 to Grote. Here's the play. On a 20, Grote has it. Runner holds. So Grote throws Alou out. Alomar has to hold at second and 2 out now. Runner in scoring position, and here's Gary Geiger. Geiger 0 for 1 with a walk. Culp with the pitch. On a 4-9. High fly ball to right field. Back goes Callison. It's gone. 2-run home run, Gary Geiger. And yes, he is an N. Holy crap. That scores Alomar. Let's look at that again. 4-9. Lefty. Sure enough, Culp is blasted for the home run. Geiger an N. He's a weak against lefties, but an N against righties. And Gary Geiger has just put the Braves on top with a 2-run shot. And here comes Hank Aaron. 2 down. The windup in the pitch. A 5-7, and he walks him. So Culp, visibly shaken after the Geiger home run, walks Aaron on 4 pitches. And now there's going to be action in the Philly bullpen. Roger Craig. Actually, Herbert pitched in this game. Ray Herbert. Well, they'll both get up. 2 righties. Ray Herbert and Roger Craig get up. And they'll begin warming as Eddie Matthews comes to bat. Two away. Runner at first. 2-1 Braves. Culp from the stretch. The pitch to Matthews on a 4-3 is a fly ball to right field X. That's Callison. He's a 2E3. And here is the play. On a 19, he drifts over and makes the catch for the out. And that will do it. But the Braves get 2 runs on 2 hits. Homer by Gary Geiger. How about that? They take a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the 5th. As Ken Johnson warms, I'll have a little tea. And oh yeah, they did miss Jones. In fact, here's his card when he did come back. 417 at-bats, 264, 23 homers, 338 on base, 468 slugging. 16 and 10 on the bases. He wasn't as good of a defensive outfielder as Geiger, but a much better hitter. And he had speed. And he'll be unavailable for this game. Thanks to the information from Aaron Smith. And I tip my cap once again. Grote, Rojas, and Dalrymple due here for the Phillies in the bottom of the fifth. As Johnson gets ready to work, he winds and deals to Grote on a 1-3, tapper down to first. Thomas has it, flips to Johnson covering, and there's one down. Here's Rojas now, 0 for 1, struck out in the third. Johnson the windup. Pitch to Cookie is a 1-11. That's a ground ball. It's going to make it right up the middle and into center for a base hit. So that one had eyes, as they say, and Cookie's aboard. And here's Dalrymple. Dalrymple also struck out in the third. Johnson from the stretch now. Pitch to Clay is a 2-5, and that's going to be a single with a two-base advance into right field. Rojas is going to steam into third, and right away the Phillies have runners on the corners with one down. Culp and A. Bunner as well. Dalrymple cannot run. I'm going to let the dice decide. 1 through 3, it's in. It's in. Should he sacrifice? He'd be a B. He's going to lay it down. It's an 8 on a B, and the sacrifice works. So Culp with the sacrifice bunt moves Dalrymple into second. It'll be second and third, 2 away, and it'll be Johnny Briggs. Briggs 0 for 1 with a walk, came around to score. Johnson from the full windup now. The pitch to Briggs on a 5-9, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Johnny Briggs, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, they leave a pair. After 5 complete, it's Atlanta 2, Philadelphia 1. Culp and S6 entering his first potential inning of fatigue here. It'll be Torrey, Thomas, and Menke for the Braves. Culp into the windup. Pitch to Joe Torre, a 3-8. That's down the left field line, and for extra bases, 1 through 6, it's a 6, and Torrey's in with a double. Leadoff double to Torrey. Herbert and Craig are ready. Here's Lee Thomas now, Menke on deck. Culp from the stretch. Pitch to Thomas on a 5-11. That's a base hit to right, an open single. Torrey can try to score on that. He probably won't because Callison has a gun. A -4 gun, and Torrey's a 1 through 8. He'd be a 1 through 4. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Torrey holds up, quite obviously, and the Braves have runners at the corners and nobody out. And here comes Gene Mauch. He's seen enough. Thomas, Menke, Alomar, the pitcher, and Geiger. In a radical changeup. They also had Belinsky warming. He pitched in this game in real life. That's what we're going to go to here. Philly's short-handed in the bullpen. So I printed up a couple of computer-only cards, Bo Belinsky and Roger Craig. They will get some reinforcements tomorrow, meaning on the 21st of April, when they make the trade that will send Ferguson Jenkins to the Cubs. So for Culp, he goes 5+, about what you would expect for that card. 7 hits, 2 runs so far, 2 honor his responsibility. He walked 3, So 10 base runners in 5 innings. He struck out a pair. And here's Belinsky. Will Atlanta counter? Who's their other first baseman? Gene Oliver, a catcher. Cardy's a 5 down there. My God, they don't have another first baseman. Menke could move to first. And Woodward could play short. And that's what we're going to do here. How about that? No, Thomas got the single. What the hell am I doing? I beg your pardon. What am I doing? Thomas is on first and Menke's the hitter. Belinsky facing Menke. Infield back. Here's the pitch to the lefty, a 3-10. That's down the left field line. That's going to rattle around. In comes Matthews. Thomas coming around. He's going to score, and Menke's in at third, sliding in with a triple. A 2 RBI triple for Dennis Menke. And it's 4-1. And now they'll pull the infield in. And here's Alomar. Here's the pitch against the lefty, a 2-9. I have to look on the card on the computer screen on my laptop. 2-9 is a strikeout. And that's the first out of the inning. And here's Johnson, a right-handed hitter. The pitch is a 6-12. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. That's playable for Briggs, and he makes the catch for the out. 4-8, hang on a second. 6-12 is a fly ball C. I've got to find Belinsky's card now on the computer. Fly ball C, runner holds. How about that? So a shallow fly ball, 2 down. And they're going to put Felipe Alou on intentionally and pitch to Geiger. So intentional walk issued to Felipe Alou. Belinsky will not be facing Aaron. Herbert and Craig are ready. The pitch to Geiger on a 6-10. That's going to be a grounder to shortstop X. That's Grote, 3E22. Here is the play. On a 4, he can't get it. It's a single, another run's going to score. An RBI single for Geiger. And that's going to do it for Belinsky. Menke comes in to score. Alou into second. And with Aaron up, Belinsky's going to be removed in favor of Ray Herbert, the right-hander. So much for the Belinsky experiment. Belinsky ends up going 2/3, allowing 2 hits, a walk, albeit intentional. Struck out 1. 4 runs charged to Culp, 1 to Belinsky, 2 on are still his responsibility. And here's Herbert now, the right-hander, brought on to face Aaron. First and second, 2 down. And here's the pitch from the stretch. It's a 6-5 fly ball to deep left field. Gonzalez back now, almost at the track, and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Braves, with 3 runs, 4 hits, they leave a pair. They go to the bottom of the 6th with a 5-1 lead. And that's got to be looking pretty strong the way Johnson's looking. I played Otba too, APBA, when I was young. That was at a period where I was trying out a bunch of baseball board games. Status Pro, Sports Illustrated, All-Star something or other. Tried many over the years, and I always did come back to Strat-O-Matic. Okay, bottom of the 6th, Braves lead at 5-1. Here's Dick Allen to lead things off. White on deck, Callison to follow. The windup and the pitch to Dick, 1-5. It's a home high fly ball to left field. Back goes Alou, just over the fence for a home run. Dick Allen on a 1-5, 1-3. He gets the 2. And on a fence scraper, Dick Allen blasts it out of here. And just like that, it's 5-2. And for Allen now, let's check him out. That's his 3rd home run of the year. That ties him with the National League leaders. And here's White. White 0 for 1 with a walk. A 2-7 fly to center field. That's going to be playable for Geiger. He drifts over and makes the catch for the out. Johnny Callison will be the hitter now, 1 for 2. Johnson the windup. Pitch to Callison on a 2-3, taps it down to first base. That's going to be Thomas. He'll take it to the bag. 2 down. Tony Gonzalez will bat with 2 away. Gonzalez 0 for 2. Johnson gets his sign from Torrey now. Here's the pitch. On a 1-9, grounder to second. That's playable for Alomar. He's got it and throws him out. The Phillies get a run on the Dick Allen homer, and after 6 innings of play, it's Atlanta 5, Philadelphia 2. So Johnson's looking good out there today. The Phillies in danger of their first loss of the season. And you might even say it's overdue. And who am I to argue? Herbert will come back out. Matthews, Torrey, and Thomas do. Do they have another left-hander? Knowles is really only available in an emergency situation in this game. They're going to stick with Herbert. And here's Matthews to lead off the 7th. Pitch from Herbert on a 6-4. That's catcher's card X. That's going to be Dalrymple. He's a 2E3. That's pretty nice to have as a backup catcher, a 2-3E2, or a 2-2E3 rather. So he's a 2 on a 5. That's going to be wild pitch and pop out. There is no wild pitch, of course, since there's nobody on base. So that just goes 2X, pop out to the catcher. And here's Torrey. Torrey's 1 for 3. He doubled in that big 6th inning. Herbert the windup. The pitch to Joe is a 4-5. Grounder to shortstop X. That'll be Grote. He's been busy down there. A 3E22. Into the hole now. And here's the play. On a 9, it's the error range. So an E22 with a roll of an 8. He makes a fine play and throws him out. So as I say, Dick Grote being kept very busy at the shortstop position today. And here's Lee Thomas now. Thomas is 3 for 3. How about that? It's a 6-9 to the left-hander. That's going to be ripped down the right field line. That gets past Callison. It's rattling around. Thomas rounding second now, headed to third. Callison's throw. He's in there. It's a triple for Lee Thomas, who goes 4 for 4. Holy cow, Lee Thomas, what a day. And Menke will be the batter now. Menke, of course, with the big triple to drive into last inning. 2 for 3. Herbert, full windup with 2 down. It's a 2-4, grounder to short. Grote's got it and throws him out. No runs a hit, they leave a man. And they're going to replace Menke for defense. Woody Woodward is going to come on and take over at shortstop. He almost came into the game for the wrong player. For Thomas. He's a 3E34. So not great, but much better than Menke. And Ken Johnson will get ready to go to work here in the bottom of the 7th with a 5-2 lead. Johnson in S7, this would be his first inning of possible fatigue. And he'll be facing Grote, Rojas, and Dalrymple. Do I need to do a review? Aaron says it was a 1-4. That was just for the fielding. That was the defensive role for the play to shortstop. Or was it? Well, let's take a look at it. I want to get it right. Oh, you're absolutely right. A 1-4 was a grounder to who batted there? Menke. Grounder to the pitcher. Thank you, Aaron. Fortunately, that doesn't hurt anything. It becomes a 1-3 instead of a 6-3, but I do thank you. Yeah, I miss him once in a while. I know that. My apologies. No, as you say, Bob, it wouldn't have made a difference in this case. So Johnson taking a 5-2 lead at the bottom of the 7th. Here's Grote now. Johnson, the windup. Here's the pitch on a 3-4. It's a pop-up left side. That's going to be Woodward, just inserted into the game, and he makes the catch. And that'll bring up Cookie Rojas. Rojas 1 for 2. Johnson, the windup. Pitch to Cookie on a 2-12. He hits him. Oh, my God. He's drilled. And Rojas jogs down to first. We don't do the injuries. Since we're using the actual lineups, it takes care of itself. It's built in, so to speak. And here's Dalrymple. Johnson from the stretch now. Here's the pitch to Clay. A 6-9 to the lefty. That's a fly ball to right field. That's going to be playable for Aaron, who drifts over and makes the catch. And now the Phillies will have a pinch hitter for Herbert. Who came in there. 1 1/3. 1 1/3 for Herbert, a hit. No walks, no Ks, no runs. That other run's charged to Belinsky. Roger Craig will come out of the pen. And now they need a batter. Runner on first and 2 down. Facing Ken Johnson here. Let's see who it's going to be. The real game, they used Clemens, Linz, and Tony Taylor. Clemens is a left-handed batter, so that makes sense to me. Doug Clemens will be the pinch hitter. Let's take a look at Clemens. I don't really know anything about him. 121 at-bats, 256, 1 home run. Outfielder, first baseman, decent corner outfielder. And here he is with 2 down, facing Johnson from the stretch. Pitch to Clemens on a 5-9. He struck him out. And down go the Phils. Clemens goes down flailing. And after 7 complete, it is 5-2, Atlanta. And here comes Roger Craig, another computer-only card. Alomar, the pitcher's spot, and Alou due for Atlanta. Will they let Johnson hit? Alomar will bat. Let's see what else they have defensively down there. Not much. Yeah, Alomar will stay. The pitch from Craig. It's a 4-7 to the left-hander. It looks like a single, but I'm going to have to be sure and check on my computer. A 4-7 left-handed, a double to 5 on a 6. That is indeed a single for Alomar. And what do you know about that? This little nothing Alomar card. Look at it. There's not a single safe chance on that card versus righties, and he goes 2 for 4. You gotta love it. Infield in now, and they're going to lay it down. Johnson's a D. A 5 on a B. And a perfect sacrifice bunt by Ken Johnson. That will move Alomar to second. That's 2 sacrifice hits for Ken Johnson. Alou and Geiger trying to pick him up. Had on an insurance run here in the 8th. Craig comes set now from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Alou on a 110 high fly ball to left field. Alou turns around and forget about it. That one's halfway up the seats. 2-run blast, Felipe Alou. And the Braves have broken it open. Alomar scores. Felipe Alou, a 110. Boom. No doubt about it. And it's 7-2. And here's Geiger. Pitch to Geiger, a 3-10. Tapper down to second base. That's going to be Rojas. He makes the play. And with 2 outs, Henry Aaron will get an at-bat. The Hammer 0 for 3 today with a walk. Craig, the windup. The pitch to Aaron on a 5-6, struck him out. So a rough day at the plate for Henry Aaron, but the Braves score 2 more. 2-run blast by Felipe Alou. And they lead it 7-2. And it looks like we're about to have no undefeated teams in 1966. Not that we thought they were going to go 162-0 or anything. And I'm looking at some of the comments now. Matthews was ranked second. He was one of the very best of all time. Mike Schmidt. George Brett. God, who else would come to mind? Three of the best, anyway. The Phillies will have the top of their order here. Briggs, Callison, and White against Ken Johnson. Here, I'm going to move the Roger Craig card out of the way, make it easier to see. Okay, here's Johnny Briggs now. Ken Johnson into the windup. Pitch to Briggs, a 6-7, a grounder to second base X. That's Alomar. Roberto, a 3-E-17. Here's the play. On a 13, he's got it behind the bag, twists and fires in time. Nice play, Roberto Alomar, and Briggs is retired. And that'll bring up Dick Allen, 1 for 3 with a home run. Johnson gets his sign from Torrey now. Here's the pitch to Allen. 6-8, a liner right at Thomas. Oh, my. Line drive to first base, and there's 2 away. And here's Bill White, 0 for 2 with a walk. Johnson, the windup and the pitch to White. A 6-6, that's going to be a base hit into right field. A 2-out single for White. And Johnny Callison will get a crack at it. He's 1 for 3, drove in a run in the 4th. Johnson from the stretch. Here's the pitch on a 4-9. It's a single to 5, but that line drive is going to find the glove of Alomar, and that will retire the side. So Johnson's gone 8. No runs, a hit, 1 left. After 8 complete, it is Braves 7, Phillies 2. And for the fans in Philly, it's all over but the crying. Here is Roger Craig. Matthews, Torrey, and Thomas. And that's where he came in. Okay, here's Matthews now. Pitch from Craig, a 3-10 to the right-hander, is a grounder to shortstop. Groats got it and throws him out. And here's Torrey now. Torrey 1 for 4. Here's Craig's pitch. A 5-8, that's going to be a double to 10. That will be a single on a 19. So base hit Joe Torrey. Craig in R4. Here's Lee Thomas. Thomas is 4 for 4. Can he do it? From the stretch. Pitch from Craig on a 4-10. It's a fly ball to center. It's playable for Briggs. He drifts over a bit and makes the catch for the out. And Thomas will settle for a 4 for 5 day. A fine performance in anyone's book. And here's Woody Woodward. He came on for defense for Menke. This is his first at bat. And here's the pitch on a 1-12. Tapper to first. White will take it to the bag. And we're going to the bottom of the 9th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And Johnson's going for the complete game. And S7. Gonzalez, Grote, and Rojas due for the Phillies. Johnson the sign from Torrey, the windup. The pitch to Gonzalez on a 3-7. That's a base hit into right field. Gonzalez aboard with a leadoff single. And that'll bring up Grote. Atlanta looking to the pen. Clay Carroll, they got a big lead though, 7-2. It wouldn't be Carroll. Pat Jarvis begins to get loose. Lefty Billy Odell joins him. Man on first, nobody out from the stretch. The pitch to Grote is a 1-9. Grounder to third, that's going to be 2. Matthews to Alomar to first, double play. And the Phillies are down to their last out. Cookie Rojas. As Johnson comes set, the sign from Torrey, the windup. The pitch to Cookie, a 3-11, a tapper to short, that's going to be it. Woodward's got it, throws in time, and that's the ball game. The Braves win 7-2. Phillies drop to 6-1. Braves improve to 4-3. And we have no more undefeated teams. Johnson with a fine performance, the complete game. Boy, I don't know who the player of the game is. Should it be Johnson? Or Thomas for his 4-for-5 performance? Or Alou or Geiger, who both had 2-run home runs? Let's total up Johnson. He had a fine game. 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 6 hits allowed. 2 runs. He walked 1 and hit a batter. 4, 5, 6 strikeouts. Beautiful game by Ken Johnson. Roger Craig worked 2 innings in relief. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and a K. So for the Braves, they had 7 runs on 13 hits and made no errors. The Phillies 2 runs on 6 hits, 1 error. And that's the final. And you're right, Bob. Phillies back to reality. What was their record in real life that season, anyway? Let's take a look. 87-75. So for the pitching, that's Johnson's first decision. He's 1-0. And for Culp, that's his first decision as well. He takes the loss. He's 0-1. And there you have it here from Philly. Tomorrow we'll finish out the April 20th schedule. And what is the last game on the schedule? I'll tell you here quickly. It's going to be the Cincinnati Reds at the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate it. I tell you, I really look forward to these games. I didn't have much sleep last night, and I was feeling really tired, and I got all pumped up for this one. And yeah, I admit I was rooting for the Braves in this one. Somebody had to knock off the Phils. I mean, come on, it's 7-0. So that knocks the Phils back into a tie. Let's check that now. So now they're in a 3-way tie with Los Angeles and Pittsburgh. The Giants only a game and a half behind. So that's going to do it for me. Oh, I'm looking at the third base things now. This is interesting. So it was probably overall player. Yeah, because Brooks would be number 1 in fielding, obviously. Chipper Jones, Ron Santos, another great one. Chipper was a great one. How about John Beckwith from the Negro Leagues? I don't suppose they count him. Modern day players, I think Nolan Arenado deserves a mention. Gaetti was a good one, but probably not quite in that caliber. There you go, Pie Traynor from the dead ball era. Absolutely. Home Run Baker, same from, I think he was earlier than Traynor even. That's fun. That kind of stuff is fun. Top 100 players of all time. Well, there's a bunch of stuff on the MLB all over the web. But that's it for me as the Braves beat the Phillies 7-2. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Hey, everybody, thanks once again. Everybody have a great evening. Bye for now.